Okay, so once we have all of our page elements all done, we need to put our pattern paper on. So I've done quite a bit of it already, just because I didn't want it to be a 3-hour video of you just watching me cut patterned paper. But any of the extra little elements that needed to happen, I've left those so I could do those with you and kind of show you what I've done. All right, so to begin, I'm going to start in I think the same order that I did the progression of the pages in. So on this part down here, I felt like it still popped up a little bit too much. So I've decided that I'm going to use a ribbon. I'm going to attach it to the back here and have it going around like this, and have a embellishment here to kind of hold this closed a little bit more. So that's my plan. So I'm just going to put some adhesive. I'm just going to use some score tape, possibly some wet glue as well, actually, along here. So I'm just going to put it a little bit on the ribbon at the end. That backing off, put a little bit of wet adhesive right where I've put that score tape, and adhere that to, okay, now I want to make sure that it is somewhere near the top. Because I don't really want this seashore. What my plan is to take this Dances with the Waves and kind of cover the seashore. I just like it better. So I think I'm going to actually move that ribbon so it's a little bit higher before it completely adheres. And this is optional. You don't have to do this. I'm just kind of showing you all the things that I'm doing, but feel free to do your own thing in the decorating processes of things. All right, so I want it to be magnetized. So my first step, I'm going to take this and I'm going to ink up the edge. So I've got some a really old vintage photo distress ink. And I'm just going to take my ink dauber and just go around the edges like this, just to give it a little bit of a finished, bit more of a vintage kind of look. It's really subtle, but I like the way it looks. And then I'm going to back it on some chipboard and cut it out. So this is a fairly thin chipboard that I'm cutting it out of. I don't want it to be too heavy. Okay, and then I'm going to put a couple magnets on the back of this, and then magnets onto the front of this. And then I'm going to need another, because this is going to open, so I want there to be another piece of paper on the back of this. Okay, so I'm just going to put some adhesive on the ribbon here. Okay, and kind of pull it tight where I want it. Lay this down over top. Like that, and now we need to add some magnets. So I'm going to put a couple magnets. Okay, so 2 single magnets there, and then I'm going to put the pattern paper onto here to cover up those magnets. I'm going to trim any excess that I have here. Okay, and now let the other 2 magnets go like that. Okay, put some adhesive score tape on the back of those magnets. and then pull it tight to adhere those magnets down. All right, and now we can put our patterned paper on the front here. All right, and now it just closes it a little bit better. All right, and now I'll just show you the rest of what I've done here. Oh, I haven't put this one on yet, so we can do that now. I'll just kind of go slowly and put the last little bits of pattern paper on so you can kind of see where everything's going. Now, you certainly don't need to use this paper collection. You can use whatever collection your little heart desires. I was tired of looking at Christmas paper, so I didn't want to do it in Christmas colors. So I've done a lot of Christmas stuff lately, so I decided to go with this. And okay, and then I'll just show you quickly what I've done. Actually, no, we'll go with the center first. So on this one, I really liked this frame. So I fussy cut out the main flowers here, and I am going to use this. I've cut out a template that is the same size as this. So I'd like to use this as where you'd put your picture, and then it can tuck underneath these flowers, and I want it to magnetize in place so your picture doesn't fall out. So here's my plan. I am going to keep this where I want it and kind of adhere down the center part. But before I adhere it all the way down, I'm going to put a single magnet on the back of it. Okay? Maybe put a little bit more adhesive covering over that magnet. Okay, and then kind of put it back into place where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now there's a magnet in behind there. Okay, I'm going to ink up the edges of this and then place it down, but leave these little bits free of adhesive. I want them to remain open. I'm going to ink the inside as well. Inking fussy cuts also helps to hide any imperfections and where you've cut, because I'm definitely not an expert fussy cutter. It's not my favorite thing to do. I'm not very good at it. Okay, so we can glue this down just around the edge. Okay, and then we're going to put a magnet on let it find its buddy through the paper here. Put a little bit of adhesive on that. And then kind of slide this in behind these flowers and adhere that magnet to the back there. All right, now you can put another layer of paper here if you like to cover up that magnet. Okay, so now it's backed there, and we can stick our frame in behind there, and you've got a great template for a picture. All right, and then on the two sides, pretty much everything is already kind of adhered. This is what I've done. And I'm just going to put this one piece over here. Okay, that's that side, and then over here. And then this is the pocket. I haven't got anything in the pocket as of yet. Alright, so that closes up like that and like that. And then you've got your magnetic little closure. Okay, so that part's done. Now we'll go to the top. So we've got the seal here, and then this is where we have that rotating piece, right? So in order to add pattern paper, we need to take that brad out. So let's get that out of the way and open this up so we can get to that brad. So remove the brad, and then we can add our pattern paper, just using this blue, onto the front here. All right, and then we're going to re-punch that hole from the back side. And then we need some pattern paper on this one. Okay, and again, we're going to punch the hole from the back side. Okay, and now we can reattach that brad. Okay, open the tines and then cover the tines with some score tape, and then we can put pattern paper here. This paper is gorgeous. I had a hard time choosing sometimes between which side I wanted to use. It was difficult. Okay, and then where else do I want pattern paper? Open that up. Got paper here and here. I didn't put paper on all of the parts of this because then it would get really thick. So I don't want it to be too thick. I want you to still be able to add photos to it without it getting too bulky and not being able to close. So I'm just adding paper on half, like every second panel. Okay, so that closes up like that, and that folds up, this swings back down, and that closes like that. So there's that one. And now we can do the two sides. Okay, so starting on the left side, this is the gatefold. So I've got the pattern paper on the front of the left side of the gatefold, but not the back side, and the opposite way on the right one. I've got the back side with the pattern paper, but not the front side, because what I want to do is take this piece, it's one of the cut apart pieces, and use it as a magnetized swing tab. So I want to have it attach here and then swing out of the way so that this can open. All right, so I want it somewhere around here. So I'm going to punch a hole in the back side, or in the left side of this with my crocodile. Okay, and then I'm going to place it where I want it. About there, I think. And then with a pencil, mark a little hole. Or make a little mark so I know where to put a hole, is what I meant to say. So there. Now I'll punch a hole. My crocodile won't reach in there, I don't think, so I'm just going to use my paper piercer. I have this cute little seahorse charm. So I'm going to put the brad through the seahorse, and then through our chipboard, and then through the hole, and then through my hole that I've created. Open the tines on the back and put some score tape over them. Now we need to figure out where to put a magnet over here. So I'm going to put a magnet on the back of this piece of chipboard. Okay, so I've got a magnet sandwich there, 2 magnets with score tape on the bottom and the top, and then I'm just going to put this where I want it to adhere the magnet to the cardstock. And now I need to take this off again because I forgot to put pattern paper on here. So let's quickly do that. And you could just put pattern paper on part of it, but I don't want to risk it getting stuck on anything with the edge of the pattern paper, so I'm going to do it the way it should be done. So I'm just going to put some pattern paper on here. Probably have a piece of scrap that I can use. Okay, now we can put our bread through. Punch that hole again in here. Now we'll put it all together. And then add our pattern paper. Okay, so there's the tines. Cover those up again. Okay, and then let's put this piece on the front. Which way did it go? Oh, it was this piece. And then this piece on the back. Awesome. And then on the rest of it, this is what we've got going on. Some blue there, green there, some flowers, and then just simple cardstock. I just had some coordinating colored cardstock. I like to use blank spaces so your eye has somewhere to rest from all the busyness of the pattern paper. And then this is where we have our pop-up scenario. So when we were putting it together, we did attach it to the back side because I'd planned to do just one piece of paper that's kind of cut in half. So we've got this piece right here, so the top half goes above it, the bottom half goes below that little piece. You could leave this off entirely until you have pattern paper on and then put it on. Completely up to you, whichever you feel is easiest. It's the thing with pop-ups, it takes a little bit of planning ahead with your pattern paper, because a lot of times you have to have the pattern paper on first before you do your pop-up. So it takes a little bit of decisions ahead of time, which I'm not usually very good at. Okay, so I'm going to put these two down. Anyone who is unfamiliar with matting and things like that in an album, all you have to do is just measure the area that you want to mat with pattern paper and then just cut it a little bit smaller, both lengthwise and widthwise. I like to have an 1/8 of an inch border of the black showing. It's very much a personal thing. Some people like more of a border. You can do some like fancy paper piecing. It's a very personal thing. That's why I don't show it all, because you know, you might want to do something completely different than I'm doing in the decorative elements. Okay, so now we've still got this flap here that we haven't adhered to anything. So I'm going to remove the tape from that, tape backing, put some wet adhesive on there. Okay, and then when it sits up, we want it to be like this. So we're just going to put it into the crease between, I forget which letter this is, but it's going to go down, it's going to attach to the base right into the crease. Let's see if I can lift this up so I can give you a better view of it. Okay, so it's right in there, so it's attached right again on the base, right into the crease. Okay, so now when you lift up that page, it pops open like that, and there's that bit of space in between. Okay, and then just give it a good crease to make sure everything lies nice and flat. All right, and there is that part. Ta-da! Okay, and then on this side, this flips up. I've just got blue here. I might put a border strip or something there in between, and then it opens up to this pretty paper there. And then on the waterfall, I just put pattern paper on the very edge and in the kind of gusset between the waterfall bits, and then some pattern paper at the back. And then I've just got this little bit going to go into the pocket. I haven't adhered that in yet. I'll do that now. So the pocket piece, you want to just tuck in a little bit, about maybe like at least a ½ inch into the pocket itself, and that way your tags have a nice easy way going in and out. I've left the rest of this blank because again I don't want things getting too bulky when you put your pictures on there, and I might put an embellishment on there later, I'm not exactly sure. And then on the box, so in the lid, so I've just done that, and then on the top I've done that. I think I'm going to embellish this further. I think I'm going to fussy cut a turtle out here and maybe a couple metal pieces. I haven't decided quite yet, but we'll work on that. And then on the outside of the box, so we still need to put this one side on because we've got the ribbon here now. So I'm going to use this white wood wash kind of pattern here, and I've got that on the back side of the box as well, and then on the sides I've got that pattern. And then the lid, kind of grab 3 of the sides, pull up the 4th one, and just kind of slide the lid on. Okay. And I just have to put some paper on the bottom, and then our box is pretty much complete. What am I going to put on the bottom? Okay, so there's the bottom. Alright, and that is your box. You just need to do any further embellishing that you want to do. You can add some metal corners maybe. I'm going to do a few more little bits and bobs. One thing that you can do with your leftover scraps, so I don't have a whole lot. I really tried to use them up, but I do have a little pile of random bits and pieces. So what I'm going to do is for the pockets, I'm going to make like a little kind of collage of all the bits and pieces and make like almost like a patchwork kind of scenario for my pieces in the pockets, I think is what I'm going to do, just to use up the scraps. And then I might even have enough paper left over to do a really simple album. So I want to stretch my paper as far as I possibly can. Alright, well that is it, folks. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and I will have many more coming up. I've got another one coming up, a collaboration that I did with Victoria Designs, so that's going to be coming up in the December, and I've got so many things happening, so please stay tuned. Hit all the buttons that you need to hit, all the likes and the subscribe and the bell icon and all those things to get notified whenever I post a video, because there's going to be a lot of things coming up.
Okay, I'm blabbering and I'm gonna stop now. I hope you have an incredible day. I hope you have enjoyed this. Please leave me a comment down below and I will see you soon. Bye!